Hello, so today I took the opportunity to talk to some of the other people who were on the course with me, just to find out what their thoughts are and how they're finding it and what they're looking forward to. So say hello to the rest of the team. Hello Chris, how are you finding the course so far?
It's really good. It's a lot more intensive than I thought it would be, but it's really good. Learning lots of things.
And what have you enjoyed the most so far?
I think just learning about the structure of how SQL sits together, and there's so many different queries and learning. Just good to understand how they all fit together.
Brilliant, thank you. How are you finding the first week so far?
It's intense, but it's quite exciting to be getting going.
And what's been your favourite bit so far?
My favourite bit so far has got to be the actual coding. So I'm understanding what's going on the board, but I'm not able right at this moment in time to write it myself, but at least I'm understanding.
Cool, brilliant, thank you.
So the QA Academy is really good so far. It's going at a relatively fast pace, but Shafiq's an incredible trainer and he's making sure that everyone is on the same page before he moves on. One thing that I really like about him as a trainer in particular is that he makes sure that everyone is constantly engaged, which I think is really hard to do, especially considering the cohort is of such a big size. At the moment I'm really impressed and hopefully it continues.
So, Michael, how are you finding the course so far?
At first I found it a bit daunting because I wasn't thinking what to expect. Finally getting into doing some work and learning some of the technical skills that we put in, it's exciting. It seems like it's a welcome challenge.
And what's been your favourite thing so far?
To be fair, I feel like we haven't done much so far, but in what we've learned, SQL is brand new to me. So learning some of the logic behind some of the queries and understanding how you can apply that into business purposes.
Cool, thank you. How are you enjoying the course so far?
I'd say I'm enjoying the course quite well. So it's been really good sort of consolidating my learning. So I've done SQL before, so I know we're doing databases, and it's sort of really good for me to sort of go back and sort of remember the syntax of what we're doing and such. But I'm enjoying sort of learning it step by step. So our teacher Shafiq is sort of teaching us sort of step by step and building on it, and I think that's a really good way of learning. So you sort of have a bigger picture and a better understanding of what you're learning.
And what's been the best bit so far?
I'll tell you the best bit so far has been putting it all together. So we learn a bunch of different smaller commands and then putting them all together to create one big query and get an answer to that. So I think just putting all the little things we learned together to create one big query would be the thing I've enjoyed the most.
Thank you. Okay, Chris, so you've taught a number of these courses before. What do you think the most interesting thing about bootcamp style of learning is?
My favourite thing is that when everyone comes in the first few weeks, they kind of just go along with, oh, I'm very new to programming, they're very kind to me, I can't do this. And then halfway through, we get them to do a little bit of an individual project, and then really start to see confidence coming through with that. And having just a proof of concept to show that they can do things really inspires them to do more. So then by the end of 3 months, we get them to work with each other in a very industrial-like setting, and they actually get to create some very good applications, things we can actually see might have market value if they just had an extra few more months on it. So to really see them go from 0 to hero is my favourite thing about it, really.
Cool, so it's quite normal to feel a bit apprehensive at first.
I would say it's weird if you wouldn't.
Okay,
it would
cool.
be very unusual. Like even people who've done computer science degrees, they sometimes feel like they're a little bit out of place here because the pace of the learning, because of this bootcamp style. I mean, it's 37 hours a week. It's quite a lot. Or 35 hours in some cases. 35 hours a week. It's even for experienced or people who have degrees in the subject, it is difficult. But the trainers are good. We will help you every step of the way, just to make sure that you can do it. Everyone can. Everyone before you can. Everyone else before you did. You can too.
Thank you. Is that recording? I think it's recording. So, right. I'm going to apologise now for the light, but in the UK it's getting close to winter, which means shorter nights. So when I get home now it's dark. So this is what I have to work with, I'm afraid. I just thought I'd give a quick introduction to the video. I've got a lot of extra footage this week, so hopefully a bit more interesting for you to watch. So this week in the course I've been on, we started off with a day just looking over the Agile principles and the manifesto, and just some very high level look at what Agile means for businesses, that kind of thing, and the different roles the different team members have. It was quite interesting. I've done a lot of that before, so it was just a quite nice, gentle introduction to being in a classroom again. Then we moved on to SQL, which was good. It was tricky. I think I'm getting the hang of it. We've been given some database and SQL exercises to do, so I'm hoping to do them tomorrow probably. I want to edit this video tonight, so I'll do my homework tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully I'll let you know how they go, but I'm hoping I'll be alright at them. I just need to get the computer set up so I can run them. And then the last day of last week we moved on to Java. I was feeling really positive after that day. If you follow me on social media, you know that I had a lot of ups and downs with the pre-course learning that we were given to do. Had very good days where I understood everything, and then very bad days where it just didn't seem to click, basically. And so at the end of last week, it was quite high for me. I realised also that I had a good night's sleep the night before and enough sleep, so I was quite refreshed for Friday as well, which was quite nice. And yes, so I suppose my biggest learning point from last week was getting into the habit of studying again, being full-time in a classroom. It's really different. I thought this would be the case. It's really different from a working environment. So you can't really take breaks when you want to. You have to focus for the amount of time that the class is focusing. And yeah, it just takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's good, it's fun. And also, yes, the other thing I've learned and been adjusting to is that there are set start times, and so if I stay up late one night, I can't just sleep in a little bit later the next time, so it's not quite as much flexible working for the duration of this course, which I did know about, so it's totally my own fault for not getting out of the habit of going to bed late. So one of my targets for this week is to go to bed before midnight each night. Hopefully I can stick to that. So that's a bit about the course and how I found it. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's it for the course. I think it's just going to be a lot of ups and downs for me, and I will be honest and tell you when I'm struggling. There'll probably be quite a lot of that. I don't want to say melodramatic, but if I think I can't do something, I'll feel like it's the end of the world, and then half an hour later I'll be fine. So trying to reassure the course tutor that no, I'm actually okay, I just don't like not knowing things, has been quite fun. And yeah, so I think that's all I need to say about the course this week. It's going well, there's lots to learn, but it feels like it's doable. So after the course finished on Friday, I had a really busy weekend planned, which I hinted to on my Twitter post on Friday. I was actually attending a hackathon, and that was based in Bristol, and it was for Bristol City Council, and their aim as a council is to eliminate period poverty. So everyone, no matter who they are or where they are, should be able to access sanitary products for free in a location that suits them. And I'm strongly behind this cause. I really like it when technology can be used for good causes. And yeah, it just sounded like a fun event, so I signed up, and then realised that I'd probably be I would only be a week into the academy, so probably not many dev skills I can add to that. And then, so yeah, I was in two minds whether to go Saturday morning, and it was raining, and I kept checking my phone hoping it would be cancelled because it was awful weather. So I thought, well, maybe if there's flooding it won't happen. But anyway, it happened. I went, turned up a little bit wet, to start with. As I say, it was chucking it down. And yeah, I'm so glad I went. I was really nervous to start with. I hadn't really thought through that I wouldn't be that useful to people. But everyone was really welcoming, really helpful, and made me feel like I could be part of the team and add some value. And yeah, so I got put in, well, I chose to go into the back-end development team. That's where I feel that my interests lie at the moment, although it's probably where I've got the least experience, maybe. So there were 4 teams that we were put into. There was the data team, which were responsible for sourcing the data and making sure it was given to us in the format that we needed it in. And the back-end team, which is what I was part of, and so that deals with all the stuff that goes on in the background that you don't see as a user. And then the front-end team, that is kind of what it says in the tin, really. It's the front end of the website, so all the pretty screens that you see when you log on to websites, that kind of thing, some basic functionality as well. So they were going to implement an option to be able to donate via PayPal. That would have all been done via the front end, so that wouldn't have had any back end support for that particular function. And then there was probably the most important team, the UX and UI team. So they worked really, they really focused on trying to make it as inclusive as possible, so trying to think of all the different personas that might want to use this particular service, and also what kind of situations they'd be in and what kind of information they'd want to give or what information they would need. And so they had quite a tough job of getting all the information to us, and it was made even tougher by the fact that we were all relying on data from the UX UI team, so they had quite a stressful start, I think, trying to get everything sorted for all the people asking for the information from them. They did an amazing job, and I think we all did, really. We were pretty close to getting something that functioned and could potentially go live as a MVP, so that stands for minimal viable product. So that's the very basic functionality that you'd need to get what you want done, basically. And then the idea being that in the future that can be built upon and more functions can be added, it can be made to look a bit prettier, that kind of thing. So it was a really good day, or weekend even, 2 days. I've got quite a lot of footage which I'm going to put in after me speaking, and yeah, hopefully it'll give you an idea of what to expect if you go to one of these kind of events. They'll all be run slightly differently. I chose this one because firstly it was a Tech for Good project, which I am quite passionate about. It's why I think tech is useful and interesting and can be so beneficial and worth studying and investing time in, because I think it can make huge changes to our lives. And also the topic, period poverty. I'm a woman, I have periods, so if I couldn't do anything from a technical point of view, I'd be able to give advice from a UI, UX perspective, how it feels, what kind of things you'd want, that kind of thing. So I did choose the topic reasonably carefully, knowing that I might not be up to scratch from a technical perspective. So if you're interested in attending one of these and you've never done one before and your technical skills are like mine, either non-existent or very limited, then I would suggest finding one that you are passionate about. It will make it much easier for you to not only help out, but for you to feel confident in diving in and just rolling up your sleeves and doing whatever you can. What else did I want to say about that before I show you all the fun footage? I think that's it. So have a watch. I've included stuff like my thoughts before and after the event each day. And I think I've recorded one of our stand-ups that we had as well, just so you can see the kind of participation that's expected on a bigger group level. And also I recorded one of our my back-end team's discussions around database design. So you'll see how everyone has an opinion and no one's right or wrong really. Even if you've been doing stuff for years, you might not know certain things. And yeah, so I hope it's interesting for you, and I'll speak to you again afterwards. Hello, I'm on my way to Bristol City Centre now. It's a little bit damp. Google lied to me, so I'm just stepping over a puddle. So I'm on my way to Bristol City Centre, going to a code and data jam, which from what I can make out is a bit like a hackathon. So there's going to be a load of people there, and we're all going to work together to try and come up with an app. And this time the app is for ending period poverty in Bristol. So we're going to create an app, and it's going to show people all the places that they can pick up free sanitary products, and also all the places where people can donate free sanitary products if they'd like. So I'm really excited. I have no idea what to expect, and yeah, I'm just hoping I can be of use. I have 5 days of developer experience, so if they need some basic SQL doing, I can probably do that, and maybe a tiny bit of Java, but I'm very good at making tea, and I'm very good at cheering people on, so fingers crossed that is all they need. It's still raining, everyone, and I have another 15 minutes of walking. Hello, so I am just on my way back from the first day of the hackathon. It's brilliant, really enjoying it. I'm on the back end team, which is amazing but really daunting because I have no idea what I'm doing, but they're all lovely and willing to teach me lots, so that's good. Today was just mainly spent planning and talking to the other teams, mainly the UI and UX teams and the front-end developers and the data team, just so we could work out what we needed to create tomorrow. And tomorrow our plan is to create the database structure, and what else are we doing? Oh, we're creating APIs as well for the front-end team to use. So yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow. I might have a bit of reading up tonight on stuff. We're using the Django framework for Python, so haven't heard of that, but it looks pretty cool and you can do lots of stuff with it, so I'm going to investigate that a bit more tonight. Hello, so I've just got off the bus and I'm walking to the second day of the hackathon. So that's for Period Friendly Bristol. We're trying to, does what it says in the tin, try and make Bristol a period friendly city and to reduce the stigma around having periods. So I feel a bit calmer than yesterday. I know kind of what's going on now. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, but I know what the structure's going to be like. I know the people there. Just wait for the car to go past. And yeah, so it's not as much of an unknown today. I still have no idea what I'm going to do to be useful. I think I'm going to focus on the documentation, which I know from previously working in tech is often a very overlooked area. It's something that it's not necessarily the most fun thing to do, but it's really important, so I don't mind doing it. And also, one of the developers yesterday explained to me that you can now put a lot of the documentation within the code, so he's going to show me how to do that, and I can document the APIs, which should be really interesting. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll catch up later.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to create the venues and contacts app because they're going to exist. It's like classic, like because it's just the way that you can structure things in Django that makes things very clear and simple. Basically, is often you'll have like they're in the same. When it says app, it actually just means directory. And it's like in one of them, in one directory you'll have like the ORM model, and like so in the location, in the venue one you'll have the model, the serializers, the URLs, and like the queries for the location. And in the other directory it'll be called like contacts, and you'll have like the model and the.
Yeah, I get that. I think I was a bit concerned as to when that goes to Microsoft. They're intrinsically going to be querying things potentially at the same time. Which didn't make a lot of sense to me in terms of...
yeah, so they may, never be split up.
Yeah, I'm happy with the folder. So
yeah, that's just all it is. So they may never be split up, if it makes sense.
So, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I guess just like research identity.
P, and then you V, E, N, U, E.
Now we don't need to do that.
There's a lot going on in the venue.
It's a busy table.
Database design, and we just put it all in one table.
Has that been automatic?
There's no click on
Or you make it virtual?
Alright, stand up. Okay. Anyway, these are the reminders of our users in that situation, and these are the actions the users would want to do in this situation. And here you bring what you still have to do, and you bring what is in progress, and back to the table.
I was just going to say, while we're all together, is there any questions that people have got for the different teams?
Yeah.
Should we give an update as like what we're actually doing, or does that might impact?
Yeah,
that would be great, and particularly sort of thinking, is there anything that you want from the rest of us, and maybe if you've got extra capacity, you might be in a position to offer something as well. That would be great. Maybe if we could start with the two groups that haven't put their post-its or their actions. I'll take you.
I want to talk about what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I'll just stand here. It's fine. So yeah, we're designing the schema. So we've got the table structure, sorry, the Excel structure for the all the fields that we'll need. So we're doing it on the wall over there. Adam has been sorting out the Django framework, so we should have something soon that can connect to a Postgres database, which has the PostJS spatial extension. So that'll be useful for the front end team because we'll give them a endpoint to query with like a radius parameter. And potentially there's some things about postcodes that we've got to think about, so there's an API that we can use for that. And yeah, just trying to think, is there anything else?
Yeah, so it's designing database schema. We'll be writing a script to pass the actual data from the data team and import that into our database, and then implementing the models in Django, which will use the database schema. Then write the code to provide the endpoints to the front end team. So we'll do a bit of talking with them and looking at user stories to work out what features they need from the APIs.
So the main thing is like get the application up and running, hit an endpoint, and then we can start building from there. Yeah, everything talking to each other.
Yeah.
Once we have endpoints, we might have capacity to help out the front end team.
Yeah, awesome.
Potentially, because I know a few of us know JavaScript.
Yeah, I think beside what we've got on here, there's also like I did some lo-fi paper sketch of how each screen should look like. So if anyone interested, what their potential would look like, always come to our table. And some there's some more information on our section as well if you want to have a look.
That's great. Can I request that the project materials that are being developed, if it's possible to take a photo of them to then put it in the Google folder? Yeah, data team, to some extent it's been, the update has been implied through those actions. We've got a data schematic, could be recognised as the column headings or called the emerging sort of ontology of locations or lots of other jargonistic things. My brain is both waking up and experiencing lots of caffeine. It's basically all good. We are available to we've got actions to do. I think that we're available to talk, but we're in flow with things. Dan's made great headway with the Google API, automating the extraction of some of the key data that's missing in our Gestalt dataset.
One question that came to mind when we had this meeting was, what if you can't find out information about the venue, such as if you don't know if it has a toilet? That will make our fields potentially nullable, and that will mean the front end team would have to react to that.
Yeah, there'll need to be a not known, and also for the opening times, it was agreed to.
Or if it's not open.
Right. Okay.
Oh, but that's also, and we have to distinguish between, we don't know whether they are open and they are definitely closed.
True.
So,
yeah.
Because right now both are just no.
Open
But yeah, we'll.
3 states. Okay, yeah.
So we can have our things done.
But we'll have a chat.
But yeah, we won't be able to get all the data, and it's also there needs to be some
We
logic
handle-
data in
yeah.
our scope document for whoever then is the administrator to be able to query potentially which data is null.
Mhm.
So they know.
Yeah. The null. The null.
Yeah, so we'll probably speak to you guys about what we can null,
Yes.
what we can't.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Good, yeah. Nullable, so another term. Okay.
Yeah, so from our team, UX UI, we're just moving now was great having a stakeholder at the table all yesterday afternoon, so we could feedback a lot with Annabelle. It was great, and we're going to fill in where we're at with our stories, with our to-dos. We're basically now looking into the color palette and into the branding and the logo. And we all installed Figma. We're doing prototypes for the pages, so for the screens basically. Well, I already talked to the front end about the screens and about the main elements, but we will now basically, I hope within the next hour and a bit, have a clickable prototype with branding and colors and logo already in there. So we'll have that, and Anthony is working on the content and writing up the text and looking into documentation, and the design system we will start at the same time to develop and set up and feed it as we go along. So I'm pretty confident by lunchtime we'll have a typical prototype with screens. And branding.
Cool. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. So we're going to do that.
Brilliant. How about we all just give ourselves a round of applause? Just,
Yeah.
just Sunday morning.
Okay, so back to it. Everything, yeah.
So these are the user stories. These epics are the overall journeys of what we want to work through, and there's one down here as well. And then these epics have been broken down into user stories. So this is what we have to do our design against. So the front end team will be looking at this and deciding how to turn it into a usable website, and as the back end team will be thinking about what we need to do to allow the front end team to implement that. The to do is everything in progress, so it doesn't look like a much, but I can show you all of those things. There's a lot of work. This is what we're working on at the moment, all the different teams, and then hopefully this will be complete by the end of the day, and it will be full of all of our actions and user stories. Okay, at the beginning of yesterday, we all had to write down certain personas, so different users of our solution, and go into detail about what we wanted them to feel and do and say, and who we're empathising with, that kind of thing. And so we've ended up with this huge wall full of different types of users. Hello! It's windy and there's cars, so I'm not sure if you'll hear this, but I'm going to try anyway. Should only be short. Just walking back from the hackathon. It was brilliant. Didn't get anything live, but we're very close, and we're all going to stay working on it. And the council have announced there's some funding to get some a few hours of paid developer time on it as well, so that's brilliant news. Hopefully it should be all ready to go by the time the charity gets set up in January. So that's great news. I'm tired and I've had lots of sugar, so I'm going to go home, have a cup of tea, have a shower, and then I will properly debrief you and give you all the details, and also probably a roundup from the week as well before I put the vlog live. So see you soon. Hello again. So I hope that was really useful for you, and it showed you that, well, what I was intending for it to show you is that these things aren't scary places. They're full of lovely people who are just trying to do good things together, and so it's really worth looking out for these kind of events, trying to attend one. If you're really nervous about going, maybe contact the organisers beforehand just to explain, and they'll reassure you that it's perfectly fine for you to come along and maybe be there to meet you when you get there. It's always nice to have a friendly face that you kind of recognise or have had some contact with beforehand. And yeah, actually going to this event this weekend made me remember how much the tech community can be really supportive and has really, really helped me throughout the past 7 years of my tech career, when I've been in test, operations. Yeah, they're just the support network that they give you if you ask for help, that they're there instantly. It's I can't recommend getting involved in some sort of community event enough, whether that's in your local community, so physically attending events, or even just getting on Twitter and talking to people. There'll be hashtags out there, there'll be groups that you can join. And yes, just start by following a few industry experts, and you'll soon see who the big voices are in the industries that you're interested in, and then try and join in and ask for help, explain that you're learning, and people are normally more than willing to help you answer questions. And yeah, and so this weekend made me realise that the community has always been a big part of my learning, and for the past 6 months or so I've kind of put it on the back burner, and that's my fault. I totally shouldn't have. I kind of let things drop a little bit, and yeah, I want that to change. So one of my targets for this next, for the duration of the course then, say, and hopefully I can continue it longer, so for the next 11 weeks I want to go to at least one community event each week. That can be anything, so I might try and go to some that I'm quite comfortable with. So there's a local test meetup, which I'm really proud to be a member of. I have quite a soft spot for testing, and so going to one of those meetups is always like going home and seeing family. So I'm going to definitely try and go to those meetups. I also want to go to events that I have no experience in the technology that they're using, and the aim of that is A, for me to learn things and find out more about different areas that I have no understanding of at the moment, but also I'm going to bring the camera with me and record how I find it and what it's like and what my thoughts of it are, and hopefully show you that even if you go to a brand new event that you have no background in, that you know no one there, that it's not as terrifying as I imagine them to be sometimes anyway. It's always much better when you get there than what you're imagining in your head, and so hopefully I'll be able to show you that. Yes, and so talking of goals, my goals last week, if you read my blog, were to get some exercise each day and also some fresh air. I haven't. I failed completely in that. I do have a reasonable excuse in that the weather's not been particularly pleasant. It's been very wet, but I do have a raincoat, so I am more than capable of walking in the rain. It's not going to I'm not going to float away or anything. It's not that horrific yet. So yeah, that's my bad. I shouldn't, and I've been feeling it. I do think I need to try and make that a priority again this week. So 3 priorities this week: get outside each day, do some exercise each day, and at least one community event each week. And I think that's it for this vlog. If I've forgotten anything or you have any specific questions about anything that I've mentioned, get in touch. I'm more than happy to answer questions. Also, if you know of a meetup that's particularly interesting, that is feasible for me to get to, so probably can't make a Scotland one, I'm afraid, as much as I love Scotland. So southwest, potentially London maybe. Let me know and I will try and go along and see what it's like and report back. And yeah, have a good week everybody. I'll see you soon.